Am I walking straight into a £50,000 financial mistake? That's the question I'll try and answer in today's video. Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're within a few years of early retirement, like me, you've probably asked yourself this question 100 times. When I start drawing my pension, should I take my 25% tax-free lump sum straight away, or leave it inside the pot and take it gradually with my monthly income later on? It feels like one of those decisions that could make or break the next 10 years of your life. So today I'm going to walk through exactly how I'm thinking about it, the maths, the risks, and the decision I've personally come to. Let's dive in. Most private pensions let you take 25% out tax-free from the age of 55, rising to 57 in 2028. The remaining 75% is taxed as income. So the choice is option A, take the 25% as a lump sum on day one, or option B, leave the full 100% invested and crystallize bits over time. On paper, option B looks clever because the whole pot stays invested longer and keeps growing. Here's a quick example with some numbers. If at the age of 57 or 58, I expect my SIPP to be around £200,000, and also assuming my mortgage still had £50,000 left on it. Option A, take £50,000 tax-free now, pay off the mortgage and leave £150,000 invested and draw taxable income from that. Or option B, leave the full £200,000 invested. I'd then be hoping that the pot grows over the years I'm drawing it down. The £50,000 extra invested in the pension pot would normally grow, as well as increasing the total pension pot size. This extra money sounds nice, doesn't it? But here's the problem. Firstly, I'd need to draw down a higher amount each year just to cover the mortgage that's still left. And what happens if the market drops 30% in the first couple of years of retirement? Exactly when I can least afford it. A £200,000 pot could fall to £140,000 pretty quickly. If I'd already taken my £50,000 tax-free and paid off the mortgage, the remaining £150,000 becomes £105,000 after a big crash. It hurts, but without having a mortgage, the pressures are less. If I'd left everything invested, my entire pot just lost 60k overnight. And because I'm planning to run my private pensions down to zero by the time the state pension kicks in at 67, my budget is already tight. I literally can't afford that size of hit in the first few years. Ask yourself, if the markets crash tomorrow, what could I cut? My £200 a month holiday pot? I don't want to be at the age of 60 thinking, maybe I retired too soon. The risk in the first few years is brutal. So what would I actually do? Two things that make the most sense for us. Pay off any remaining mortgage or reduce it to near zero, and invest in perceived safer funds. These will probably be short-dated bonds and overnight money market funds. This feels like the safest route for us to take. If we kept the mortgage and paid 4.5% to 5% interest to the bank, and with short-dated gilts and money market funds currently yielding 4 to 4.5%, then as far as I can see it, it would be worse off. Of course, there is another option, which some people prefer. Stay invested in the stock market and hope for 6 to 7% long-term growth. Then I'm effectively borrowing from the bank at 4.5% to 5% to chase an extra 2%. That feels like a gamble I don't need when my budget is already stretched. Paying off the mortgage with the tax-free cash gives me an instant, guaranteed, tax-free, risk-free return of 4.5% to 5% plus lower monthly bills. And a huge peace of mind. Here's my thoughts then. Because I'm planning to fully deplete my private pensions by the age of 67 and then live on the state pension plus small defined benefit pensions, I can't risk a big early drawdown loss. So my decision is this, which is not advice, it just makes sense for my numbers and my tolerance of risk. At the time I start early retirement, I will take the full £50,000 tax-free lump sum on day one, and I'll use a big chunk of it to either clear the remaining mortgage completely or get it down to almost nothing. The remaining £150,000 stays invested in a safer portfolio to hedge against inflation, and I'll draw down my taxable income from that. This gives me the mortgage paid off, or very tiny, giving me lower outgoings each month. Today's £50,000 tax-free, locked in, instead of gambling on future growth. And I still keep 75% of the pot invested long-term in a safer style portfolio. For me, the peace of mind is worth way more than the possible extra money I might get by leaving the 25% inside and investing in riskier assets. So that's my thinking. It won't be right for everyone. If I had plenty of slack in my budget, other assets, or no mortgage, leaving the 25% invested longer might still win. Or if I decided to downsize our property near to retirement age and clear our mortgage, then I'll have to reevaluate the numbers again. But if you're pushing the numbers, like me, to make early retirement happen, taking the tax-free cash early and using it defensively just feels safer. Let me know in the comments if you would take the 50k now or leave it invested and push for higher growth. Have I made a mistake with my mortgage repayment thoughts? If this helped, smash the like button and subscribe to follow our journey, and I'll see you in the next one.